Hello everybody, here I am in the pink. Well, not really. I've had a very difficult week. I had a huge abscess in my face to start with. I have to have teeth out tomorrow, so I thought I must do the video today because I don't know how I'm going to be. Oh, teeth, I don't know. Anyway, so today we're going to have a little story about flight. I thought I'd be gentle today. I've had enough of masters and all their intensity. So today's a day about talking about flight in lots of different ways. When I left my husband 30 years ago, I started my very dark night of the soul. I expect lots of you know what that is like. It's been a very long journey. I don't quite know where I am now, what station I'm at, but I know when I left him, I was in a pretty bad state. I left without any money and into a flat with 6 students. So anyway, I had a vision of I was travelling through the dark, very, very dark, and I was accompanied by a whole flock of white snow geese. I love snow geese. Whether I was one of them or whether I was just in my soul state, I don't know, but they took me through a great deal of darkness, and several of them actually died, and I was very upset, but they wore themselves out for me, taking me through this darkness, because I was a bit afraid of the dark, and they obviously weren't, bless them. So that was the start of it, really, and then it's been one thing after another, of course, through the years. But a few years ago, I was going to Lucerne in Switzerland for a seminar, and I was terrified of flying. Absolutely. And I was going on my own, leaving my family behind just to a seminar. And I knew I had to do it. And I was travelling from Bristol, so it wasn't a very long flight, really. I don't know how many miles it is, but it wasn't very high either. But I was really quite frightened, and I went on my own, so it was quite a challenge. And not long into the flight, the plane began to, how it does from time to time. I just froze. I didn't know what to do. You know how it is. You panic. I think I got no one's hand to hold. I hadn't got my tablets, my pills. So I just sent out a thought, what is going on? And immediately a reply came from a spirit, I guess. I didn't know who it was at the time. He says altitude. Altitude, I guess, means, settling down a little bit. So it kind of reassured me in a way. And so when I got home, I told Mother about this, and she said, well, that's your Uncle Cyril. He was a Spitfire pilot, apparently, and he went to Lucerne on exactly the same day that I was going, many, many years ago, just after, 70 years ago, probably. And he reassured me that everything was okay. So that was probably my first real experience of having a message from on high, and it was so lovely. And I just began to think then of all the pilots, how difficult it must have been, because the sun was shining and it was right in my eyes, and I thought they must have had to go through such difficult times, facing the sun, and a lot of thoughts came to me about flying. So, but I wasn't actually cured of it at that time. I really wasn't cured. So, I have flown quite a lot. But the most, I suppose the inspiring and the curing thing was when I went to Canada. My spiritual master Maharaji, he's a natural airline pilot, and so I said to him, look, can you get rid of this fear for me, because obviously it's the thing of the time, isn't it, flying, and I want to get rid of this fear. I wasn't in abject fear. I didn't have to sort of have sick bags and stuff, but I was very apprehensive. Being a Tory and I'm an earth person, I hate to be up in the air. Feet off the ground. I don't think I trust the pilots. I don't trust anyone. Driving and stuff, if I'm being driven, I don't like it. So to give my life over to a pilot. Anyway, I asked him, Maharaji, I said, could you help me to get over this fear of flying? And so when I went to Canada, on the way back actually, I don't think you can do it now, but I asked the air hostess, I said, could I go and sit with the pilot? And I did. It was absolutely delightful. The two of them there, eating their crisps and their sweets. They weren't doing anything, just having a chat and lay back. Of course, it's all automatic, isn't it? And it was the thing that surprised me was that you couldn't see anything really. I mean, the screen was sort of instruments were quite halfway up. There wasn't a lot of airspace you could see. I think it was 37,000 feet. And I remarked, I said, gosh, all you've got is between you and that sky is a few inches of glass, plastic, whatever it is. I thought that was quite remarkable, really, because just that protection, and they were quite confident. Obviously, it was their job, and they were so confident. It inspired me. I thought, well, this is a lesson in trust, like dentists and pilots and doctors. You have to at some time let go and really trust the universe knows what it's doing. So that was, I suppose, I have flown since then, but that was my ultimate healing experience, to see that these two chaps were so confident and so sure of their jobs that no harm could possibly come to me. And I do watch films about flight disasters, which is perhaps not one. I love that film Flight, Daniel Washington. Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, whether he actually did what he did, I don't know. But so I try to keep off flight accidents. I mean, let's face it, how many planes take off every day, and we are just probably some more safe with them than we are in our driving in our cars. I keep frowning at the time. I did a very short video today, which is okay, because on my responses I see that the watch time's only about 4 minutes anyway. So I'm thinking, well, they're wasting my time for the rest of it, and I am a bit obviously tired today, not looking forward to tomorrow. So that was a very, very interesting experience going to Lucerne. I had lots of lovely travels, and I have a lot of flights. I think the longest flight was going to America, San Francisco. Yes, still don't really like it too much, because if I was doing first class I'd be fine, but some of the naughty people, you sit there. I must tell you about the flight to San Francisco. That was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I sat on a window seat, and it was Wesak. I've done a video about Wesak, and I had my nose pressed against the window because it was a night flight, and it was a full moon. Magical, absolutely magical. I don't know how much nearer we were to the moon, 37,000 feet, not a lot, but because it was nothing else, it was just the moon and me, it was tremendously moving. I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful. And I was there, I think it was a 13-hour flight, just pressed against the window watching this moon for 13 hours. Beautiful experience, actually. It really was lovely. And of course, Manchester. I've told you the story about Manchester. I might tell it again one day, because it was a very beautiful time. And lots of the different flights. I've been very lucky, actually. I haven't had any of these sort of, people having to sort of spend time, what do they call it, waiting for the right spot, or lots of storms. And I'm very, very lucky to be looked after. I suppose the angels take care of me when I'm up in the air. But yeah, there was another story. I can't remember what it was now. I say my mind's a bit weird today. So I hope you're all having a good time, or not. I'll be one tooth less next time I see you. It's a crown, and I'm not looking forward to it. I still got most of my teeth, for my age is pretty good. But when I had money, and I did it one time have money, I had a private dentist, and they look after your teeth extremely well. They want you to keep them. NHS, they all want to have it out. Have it out, too much bother. That's my experience. Anyway, dear ones, on that note, perhaps I'll go. I've covered it all. I've covered the flight to Lucerne, and the flight to Canada, and the flight to Manchester. Oh yes, Manchester. When we got to California, was it California? Yes, California. Los Angeles was the airport, and we had to get a very small plane from Los Angeles airport over to Manchester, which is the mountain. Fantastic place, and it was a tiny plane. I mean, it was more than altitude. It was, and looking below, it wasn't very high up, and you could see the Californian fields of fruit. I mean, the colours, the abundance, you know, the American Californian grapes and oranges. It was just beautiful. But the flight was probably the most scary I've been on, actually, and I just kept talking. I'm good at that. I always capture somebody next to me and talk with poor things, talk to them until they walk out with me, and it takes my nerves away. Okay, I'm going to go now. I've got my scorpions on today. I bought this for £5. I was very pleased with it. Second-hand shop. And I realised it's all scorpions. Transforming Scorpio. Transforming time. Anyway, take care, darlings. I'll see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.